When it comes to Golden State Warriors young players, everybody talks about Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, or the most recently drafted Yaxel Lendeborg. But there's this one second-year player on this Warriors roster that almost nobody is talking about. His name is Will Richard. The Golden State Warriors took him with the 56th overall pick during last year's draft. He is also a former national champion with the Florida Gators. And unlike most second-round picks, who often struggle to make the roster, Will Richard has already earned real playing minutes. This past season, he was averaging 20 minutes per game. Now, remember, Jimmy Butler is going to miss at least the first half of the season recovering from his torn ACL. Moses Moody is also going to miss the beginning of the year. That means Golden State suddenly has a real need for wing depth. And while everybody is paying attention to the big names, Will Richard might quietly become one of the biggest weapons for this Golden State Warriors team. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. Yo, what's up guys, Jason here back with a new video. If this is your first time watching, I cover the Golden State Warriors every single day on YouTube, along with other NBA news, trades, and rumors on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. If you are a basketball fan, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because you don't want to miss any of my future upload. Now, let's first talk about why the Warriors took him last year during the draft. It all starts with his versatility. Even though he is 6'3", his wingspan is almost 6'10", and his standing reach is 8'7". In other words, he plays much bigger than his size. That is the kind of player Steve Kerr loves. A long, switchable, high IQ wing who is able to guard multiple positions. Last season at Florida, Will Richard was averaging almost 2 steals per game, constantly creating turnovers with his length and anticipation. Offensively, he is the kind of complementary player that fits Golden State's system. Will Richard moves very well without the ball, reads defenses. He can handle the ball in secondary actions, and most importantly, he can shoot. During Will Richard's final year at Florida, he shot almost 36% from 3 on nearly 6 attempts per game, and his shooting improved every single year throughout college. Will Richard isn't somebody who needs the ball to be effective. Instead, he keeps the offense moving, makes the extra pass, finds open space, and does all the small things that help teams win basketball games. Will Richard was never the loudest player on the court, but during Florida's national championship run, he became one of the team's emotional leaders, hitting clutch shots and making winning plays when they mattered most. That is the kind of player Golden State loves to develop. Now, with that being said, there are reasons why he was still available at pick 56. Even with that incredible wingspan, he is still only 6'3", which means matching up against bigger NBA wings wouldn't always be easy. Offensively, he is not somebody who is going to isolate and create his own shot every possession. He is much more familiar playing off the ball than being the primary scorer. At Florida, in his final season, he was only averaging 13 points per game. In addition, during the draft, he was 22 years old, which caused some teams to question how much upside he still has. And while he does a lot of things well, he doesn't have one skill that is elite that jumps off the page. But honestly, that is why he fits Golden State. In my opinion, Will Richard is the perfect definition of a role player. The Warriors don't need him taking 20 shots per game. They need him to defend, move the ball, hit open shots, and make winning plays. And that is exactly what we're seeing. Now, remember, most rookies in the second round spend their first season almost entirely in the G League. Most don't make the rotation. Will Richard already has. This past season, Will Richard was averaging 6.4 points, 2.5 rebounds, and over 1 steal per game while playing meaningful minutes. And here's one more proof. A few weeks ago during the Summer League, Will Richard, who is now a second-year player, shot over 50% from 3. That tells you how big of a gap there is between him and the rest of the players. Now, I watched every single Warriors Summer League game, and Will Richard looked effortless. For somebody who was just drafted a year ago in the second round, those are great signs. Now, this is where things get interesting. Jimmy Butler is going to miss at least the first half of the season. Moses Moody is also not going to be available in the beginning. That simply means the Golden State Warriors need rotation minutes on the wing right away. And honestly, Will Richard might be the one that benefits the most from this, because he could find himself playing meaningful minutes from opening night. From what I saw so far, his game fits perfectly next to Steph Curry. He doesn't need touches. He doesn't slow the offense down. He runs the floor, cuts hard, makes the extra pass, defends multiple positions, and knocks down open threes. That is the kind of role player the Warriors need right now. And in recent years, I noticed that the Golden State Warriors have a clear preference for players who has won at the previous level. For example, Richard here with the Florida Gators, and most recently, Lendeborg with the Michigan Wolverines. Given the current landscape of college basketball, these players are often going to be on the older side. However, they are more mature and more developed. And in my opinion, Will Richard adds more youth to the team, but also he is somebody who is able to contribute right away. And here's one more thing. Given Will Richard was selected in the second round, he is extremely cheap. That also means if he develops a little bit year by year, Golden State is going to have a steal at that position. Of course, it is unfortunate that both Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody are injured. However, that gives Will Richard a prime opportunity to develop and play meaningful NBA minutes right away. And to me, that is one of the most important yet interesting storylines for the Warriors this upcoming season. And if Will Richard's value goes up because of that, he might also become one of Golden State's most valuable trade assets. Again, that's just my opinion, and I want to hear from you guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much faith and belief do you have in Will Richard? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Alright guys, that's all we got for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on social media, all linked below in the description box. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.